All right, a little advice on using a vacuum extractor on a 2004 Lincoln Town Car. This also applies to the Crown Vics and the Mercury Marauders. You notice how there's the dipstick, and the dipstick stops about here. And the advice is this: if you shove this very long vacuum extractor line into the dipstick hole, which is hiding way down there, you will actually discover that you can't suck any oil out. The dipstick must go in, and then if it gets pushed too far, I'm not the dipstick, but the suction line, if it's pushed too far, it must then curve up. That's the only way I can guess. So what I discovered is that if I pushed in this suction line all the way up to the hilt here, well, I didn't get any oil. But if I measured it against the dipstick and put it in approximately the length of the dipstick, approximately, this isn't science, folks, it sucked all the oil out. Now this car, this 4.6 liter V8, very common engine, holds 6 liters of oil with a filter. And this is 1, 2, 3. That's about 2 liters, 2 quarts per section. So that's about 5 to 6 quarts. Now I will take it up on the lift. We'll release the drain plug. We'll see how much is left. But this is just part of my experiment to see if I can avoid taking drain plugs out of cars. It's a time waster. You've got to know the torque spec, which, by the way, on this car is 10 foot-pounds, which is pretty light. And it has a crush washer, which they then have to replace. And if you buy it at the dealer, it's like $4.50. And I'm not bemoaning what the dealer charges. I'm just saying that if you save $4, life goes on. Now, for what it's worth, this takes 5W20. And of course, I like the Costco oil. It's full synthetic. It's Dextrose 2, which is good. And it's relatively inexpensive. It's like $2.50 a quart. So if I put in 6 quarts, obviously 6 times 2.5 is 12. That's $15. It just saves some time and money. And given that engines like this deserve to be treated well, you can abuse them, of course. But this is the car that just got its power seat repaired. It's also had its tranny filter and fluid done, its rear end. It's had spark plugs put in. It is, well, it's a gorgeous car. What can I say? So there's no reason to cheap out and neglect servicing the engine with the idea that I'll save, oh God, I'll save $25, $30. Well, this car is a 2004. My point is that it's 18 years old. It's got about 40-some thousand miles on it. It's gorgeous. So why would anyone, any reasonable human being who knows how to change their own oil, try to extend the oil change life because they think they'll save money? What you'll end up doing is sacrificing a car, which obviously you cannot buy because they don't exist anymore in terms of new. And this one is gorgeous. So the idea is spend a little money up front. I keep saying this over and over again. I practice what I preach. Spend a little money up front. Change the oil more often than you think is necessary. I routinely ignore manufacturers' suggestions. They'll be glad to replace the engine if you don't change the oil enough. But none of them are going to say, oh, well, we misled you. You really should have been changing it every 5,000 miles or every 3,000 miles. I think the max is 5,000 miles, 6 months. I do 3,000 miles, 3 months. Each car that I have gets done once a year. I don't care if it's driven 200 miles or 1,000 miles. It gets fresh oil every year because I put it back into storage with fresh oil so there's no acids and water in the crankcase. So I'll get it up on the lift, drop the drain plug, and we'll see where we go. All right. Sorry for the shadows. That's the way it is sometimes. We're unscrewing the drain plug. No oil is coming out so far. I think we have success. Oh my God, it worked. The oil extractor, when properly used, makes it so you don't need to pull the drain plug. Woohoo! That's a lot of saved time. So all good. Appreciate everybody watching. Hope you learned something. Hope this works for you. Love you. Bye.